Today I teleported myself on the green grass of the village where I met some young dancers from Tel Aviv. Shalom.
Oh, hi.
Hi, Ohad. Do you want to come with me and we talk about your experience together?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Absolutely.
Okay, let's go then. Bye-bye. So how is the time away from Tel Aviv?
Wow, so nice, so refreshing. I feel like there's so much art in the city.
Is it the first time you are in Paris to represent, to do a show?
Actually, no, it's I think third time in Paris, and I don't even remember how many times we came to France with Batsheva. Actually, quite a lot.
Is there something specific in this country compared to Israel or not?
I must say, mostly very, very warm. Aside from, the protests and the boycotting calls once in a while.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Linked to the situation, because it's always political when you come from Israel, I guess.
Yeah, which yeah, normally we don't think about, but yeah, when you go abroad, you face that.
And in terms of the dance you're offering to the audience, the show Momo, can you talk about this?
It's a new piece. My second creation process with Ohad Naharin in my 7 years in Batsheva. First one was 2019, and this is the second one.
Okay.
I feel very close to it because actually all the dancers, we are like co-collaborators.
Which means?
Of this piece, which means we were sort of like choreographing together, generating into the piece.
Suggesting ideas about the moves?
Yes, about the moves, even about the concept sometimes, the staging. Of course, he makes the final decisions, and but we were much more involved than normally.
It's not so much like the army, like it's more horizontal.
Yes.
So your character, if I can say that, what is it, and what did you choose? Why did you choose to represent that? Because you have a very particular role.
Yeah. I didn't think about the whole thing from the beginning, but I did start this process by talking to the choreographer about my gender identity and wanting to not be a man inside the piece, or not present as a man inside the piece. I always felt restricted. Maybe as a young person, I didn't always know how to explain that to myself, but I always felt restricted within, just being a man.
Do you reject or refuse this role of a man,
Yes.
like it is typical? Do you
Yes.
does it bother you, masculinity as we know it?
Yes. I mean, I don't think there is something. Wait, I wanna.
Yeah.
I think there is something in how I learned to perceive masculinity, or in the world that I grew up, what masculinity was associated with. I always had a need to reject, and I don't think that there isn't don't think there is something inherently bad or wrong in being a man, or that masculinity is a sort of fact of life or of nature, but I think everything that we sort of put onto it, I always had a need to reject that. I don't know.
What makes you uncomfortable with it?
I think it's many times connected to restricted, repressing emotions. Something that has to do with being the first, achieving.
You feel more comfortable with feminine characteristics, or it's another thing?
It's like more than comfortable. I always naturally identified with feminine qualities, and with feminine role models.
Can you describe how you are? Because I've seen you, it's hard to recognize you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you have a tutu, is this how you say? And makeup, and
Yes,
you do very funny moves, actually, very excessively feminine.
Yeah, I don't think I have like a character that I can, define in one word, but I did very much want to be sort of a ballerina, and then the idea of the tutu came actually from the costume designer, who's also one of the dancers, by the way, Ari.
Is it for comical effect, or it's for thinking about genders? Is it serious? Is it light?
I think the piece very much deals with ballet also, and there are bars in the piece, and there's a lot of, I feel like, dealing with the act of dancing, reflecting on the act of dancing. So I think they wanted they liked to have this one character that represents the cliche of ballet, and yeah, maybe like to put it on me like also adds to it like another layer, something less obvious.
I felt seeing you and the other ones like you, like I call your group the like gender fluids, and then there are the four guys who are like the pillars, the masculinity soldiers type. Coming from Israel, I feel like I could have met those guys in the Negev, in an army training camp, like I did. They really reminded me that. And then the people, your character, they reminded me of people in Tel Aviv. So do you feel your character comes from the Tel Aviv scene?
Yeah, I'm based in Tel Aviv, so in a way, yes.
So basically, you're not very much acting. Is it very much what you are on stage?
Yes, that's very much who I am. I made all the moves. I think all this femininity you were talking about is very much came from me and from how I move and what I want to research as a dancer, and how I also identify in everyday life.
Can you tell me about your life? So I know you were born in Haïfa.
Yeah.
Did you grow up there?
Yes, I did grow up there. Did my education there.
What kinds of
including,
family? Was it religious, liberal, neither?
Not religious, definitely. Quite liberal. We are a very big family. I have five siblings, older than me.
Okay. So you're the youngest?
I am the youngest.
And so what age did you know you wanted to become a dancer?
Really, I was always dancing. Like all the weddings, family events, like always on the tables and always performing to everyone, belly dancing. And
is it some particular type of music that sets you on fire?
yeah, I was always really into like belly dancing, more Arab tunes. But also I always loved MTV and like just pop and.
So what kind of family was it in Israel, your family? Is it people based in Israel for a long time? Is it Jewish, Arabic?
My dad was born in Syria, actually.
Okay.
His entire family immigrated together. They were also 10 brothers and sisters.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And on my mom's side, both of her parents are Holocaust survivors. So they fled the war together.
So they were in Europe?
Yes, in Poland.
Poland.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have roots from Poland and Syria?
In Syria.
Okay.
Yeah.
You grew up speaking Hebrew?
Yes. Yes.
And so you started dancing at a very young age. That's what you're saying. And then how did you become a professional and ended up in this company that's pretty well known?
So around the age of 12, I auditioned to an art school, and actually I was already dancing in a like small dance studio where my sister was dancing.
Yes.
And I wanted to go to the art school, to the theater department, actually. And then I had that teacher from the dance studio was like, you have to audition for the dance department, at least audition. And then I auditioned, and my mom was really actually a little bit nervous about this path, like how strict it can be and demanding. But after the audition, the department head of the department was like come to me. You need to do this and this and that, and I'm gonna like take care of you and take you to this. Like basically, I'm gonna invest in you, which
like a mentor.
Yes.
That was in Haïfa?
Yes.
Okay.
And then from that point on, I had really amazing teachers, dance teachers. And then after high school, I auditioned to Batsheva.
So what age?
18.
Just after school.
Just after
Basically,
school.
it's your main and only
adult life.
Yeah.
In Batsheva.
Okay. So can you say something about the Batsheva Company? Is this something special that they want to say, or does it depend on the artistic director and the founders? Like, is there a special spirit?
I think the most special spirit in this, there are many special people and things about this company. I think the one with the most gravity and is Ohad. He's not the artistic director anymore, but he is the house choreographer, and he still teaches Gaga, which is the language, and also at the core of like the company.
What is Gaga? Can you describe it?
It's a movement language. I think
Could you show something?
I
Do you speak that language? Because I don't, so.
it's based on improvisation basically. So
Okay.
there isn't really something I could show. Like
You could improvise.
it's
though.
based on improvisation.
Okay.
And yeah, if I improvised, it has obviously affected how I move over 7 years because we essentially improvise, and Ohad is guiding us, giving us information.
Would you say it's a slow language? Because what I saw on stage is like slow and hypnotic a bit. The move seems like a slow motion move.
Not necessarily. Like it actually a lot works on range,
Okay.
on finding more range in your body, in your quality, and constantly trying to expand that.
Okay. So it's about the space.
Yes.
Okay.
And then on stage, Ohad uses what we work with in Gaga class.
So it's hard to describe. Basically, you have to see it.
Yes. It's not
All
like
right.
you would see ballet or you would see Graham or I don't know, something that is distinct. Ohad has a distinct aesthetic, but it's not Gaga exactly.
Is it coming from the actual founder? Because I saw that he worked a lot with her, Martha Graham.
He did dance for her. I'm sure it came from. I think it actually started when he had an injury, had a back injury, and
Okay.
he was trying to heal himself with movement.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it came from a little bit trying to heal himself through movement, and then trying to expand that. And
I see. Sort of like yoga,
yeah,
maybe linked to these kind of moves.
yes.
Okay.
And definitely it always has to do with continuing to move, like never stopping to move.
I see.
Inside a Gaga class, you never drop. It's sort of like a continuous improvisation.
Okay.
And
And
to keep the body active.
and the moves in Momo. Can you talk about the idea that you had to make it powerful? Is it about? Is there a theme?
In this piece, what was special is that he went to work with these 4 men, and we were left in the studio with Ariel Cohen, who was his collaborator.
Yes.
And he essentially invited us to challenge the limits of Ohad's aesthetic a little bit, and I don't know.
And do you know what Momo stands for?
I think Ohad said that Mo means also in Japanese.
Okay.
So I don't I think
That
he wanted to say something like also and also because there's the piece that he created for the boys and the piece that he created on the 7 of us. So it was it's like also and also, like 2 things you can
The
watch
dual
at the same time.
thing, and it's a Japanese origin,
Yes.
linked to his partner, who is the Japanese dancer and
Yes.
costume designer.
Yes.
I see. And the Batsheva name, can you say why the company is called Batsheva?
It's it was named after Batsheva de Rothschild, who was the founder of the company in the 60s.
and she wanted to create a dance company, and her name came to name it.
Yes.
So it's basically a name
Yes.
of a woman.
Yes.
Okay, well, do you want to add something, or do you have other interesting
Come
stories?
see the show.
Come see the show. All right, well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Toda, Ohad.
I hope that was clear.
That was good food for thought, as we say. See you on stage.
Yes.
Ciao, ciao.
Bye.